welcome to Beyond the Horror, where we, the four of us, pick apart American Horror Story 1984, Episode 6. So, spoiler warning to those of you out there who have not actually watched this episode. I want to welcome my guests. Of course, you guys know myself, Mother Supreme, MaryGirl Moody. Please welcome Melinda to the show, Irish Melly.
Hi, everybody.
Then, of course, we had the beautiful Lady Di back from Europe. We are so happy to have you back.
I am here, and it just kicked me out because I got a notification for a thing that I didn't turn off. So hold on here.
No problem. And then, of course, we have Murder Motel. My love, Murder Motel. Welcome to the show, Chris.
Hey, guys. I just want everybody to know that I'm on my laptop. There won't be any shaking, so I won't be moving.
No worries, Chris. So, guys, let's go ahead and let's talk about Episode 6. And I believe that Michael will also join us as well. So, Diana, is it working better now for you? Oh, I think she's having
some. I can hear you.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so here we go, guys. Let's talk about Episode 6 because, you know, I haven't been this disappointed since I was single. And I love this show, and don't get me wrong. Okay, at one point I freaking hated the American Horror Story big twist with Roanoke, and Casey, Maisie, and myself ripped that motherfucker to shred. Like literally, we ripped it through the shredder. And then I go back and I watch Roanoke after the season is done. I let a little time go by and I just kind of enjoy it. I just enjoyed it for what it was, if that makes sense. So
the expectations weren't as high at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't think I'm going to feel that way this time. I know we were talking about how this season, now we were so nervous about Episode 6, all of us. Me, especially Dawn, we were talking about Episode 6 and how nervous we were. And I compared it to like being single and going out on a date and having these high expectations. And you're just, really nervous about it. And oh God. God, that's what they did for the 100th episode. Oh my God.
I agree. I felt like it should have been better, completely better.
Yeah.
I had high expectations.
Yeah. And especially with the previews, they kept showing, and I understand why, because it was the 100th, but they kept showing snippets of like every season as if something big and grand was going to happen. And,
exactly.
I mean, the episode wasn't that bad in context of the season, but for the 100th, I was very disappointed. Yeah.
I had high. Actually, I didn't have too high of expectations. But damn it, I expected something better than what we got.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it definitely touched on every season. And that's something that I'm definitely putting in my review, how this episode touched on every single season. Absolutely, absolutely. And it was a decent episode. For where the story is going, I thought it was pretty decent,
Yeah.
But I was just expecting something better than what we got.
Yes, I totally agree with you. Totally do. Just the 100th, it should have been very grand.
And they had so many opportunities this episode to actually connect. Oh.
You might have to leave the stream and
yeah, Diana, I think you're gonna have to reboot, darling. I guess your computer. I guess Diana just got back from a little vacation, so I guess her computer's on vacation as well. It's like, no, I don't want to stream today. Yeah. So, I saw the connections, but there were. Like whenever Margaret bought, and guys, I'm sorry, there is a massive storm raging right now outside. So if something happens and the show shuts down, it's just because I have lost power or internet. Give me just a little bit, and hopefully I'll come back. Hopefully a tornado won't take me away to Kansas. But I mean, they kind of led us to believe that this episode was going to be special and we were going to get some special things. And when Margaret was going through and reviewing all the places that she had bought, I thought, oh my God, here it is. She bought all of the past seasons where they all occurred. And nope, she only bought the Murder House and Briarcliff Manor.
Briarcliff, yeah.
Like, shit. I mean, I know it's 89 and therefore there were, I know it's 89 and therefore some of the seasons hadn't happened yet at that time, but still that would have been a brilliant time to like flash it forward significantly. And
she buy the Roanoke house at that point?
Yeah, something.
Because we know that's been there forever.
Exactly. True. It has been there for a longer time. So it doesn't have to be just because Shelby and Matt.
Right.
You know, so yeah. I want to say a huge shout out to Eurobeg. You and your sister who are watching, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. K Short, you said that you have a theory. This episode connected things. Let's see, K Short, where else? Oh, I think it wasn't bad. It could have been better, but I think the baby is Ben Harmon. It just fits. Okay. So I guess
that's the one thing I'm really curious about.
Okay, so let's go with that. What's up with that, Melinda?
Well, I was racking my brain as soon as they showed Jingles with a baby. And I always have my captions on when I watch it because then you get little hints that you may not hear or see. Yeah. And it specifically said Bobby crying before I even said Bobby. So I was like, oh, the baby's name is Bobby. Because I didn't know at that point if they were going to say his name because they just kept saying baby. Mm-hmm. And I started racking my brain. I'm trying to figure out, I'm thinking, past seasons, like, who's Bobby? Who's Bobby? Where does this fit in? And I could not think of it because obviously Bobby is short for Robert. So it would be, Robert, Bobby, Rob, Bob, something like that. And I couldn't think of anybody, but yeah, so that one, I really want to know what people's theories are on that because that one's racking my brain. Like, who is this baby going to be? Because this baby's going to be very important to the storyline later. It has to be. Yeah.
But to me, I mean, Murder Motel, what do you think? I mean, they showed us that Brooke didn't look like she had a baby. So, I mean, what do you think? Is that, I think Diana might be back.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yay, we can hear you.
Okay, so we're listening to Murder Motel. Tell us if he thought maybe that like Brooke was pregnant because I know we saw her in this episode in jail. She obviously, and it had flashed forward. So since it flashed forward, she obviously kept her figure if she had a baby. So Murder Motel, do you think she had a baby or do you think there is no baby?
I'm going to be honest with you and tell you that I watched the episode, but I had a busy day that night. So there's probably some scenes that I have missed. So, but can you kind of tell me what scene that was?
Oh, sure. Okay, so we got to see Brooke when she went to jail after. So I guess it flashed forward about 1 year when Brooke was in jail. If I'm right, Melinda and Diana, when she saw Richard Ramirez in the prison.
See, and that's where I wasn't sure because we kept going back to 85 and 89 between Ramirez and Jingles. And then they would just keep going back and forth. So I was a little confused too when Brooke was in jail. And Ramirez was there. And we know that Ramirez doesn't die in prison right then. I mean, based off even just the American Horror Story timeline. So we knew something was going to happen with that. But was that 85, when he got caught, when he got beat up? And I'm assuming they were in Mexico.
No.
But
they were no.
Yeah, but then they were flash forwarding to 89 with Jingles in Alaska and having the baby. And then we went back to Brooke in prison where she saw Ramirez. So, but it didn't say 85 again. So I'm assuming maybe we're just supposed to assume Ramirez stayed in the 85 timeline, except for obviously at the end when he goes to Alaska. So it could be 85. But people have babies in jail.
Damn, Chris, you asked a hard question. I gotta say. It's just because of the time jump. Melinda makes a good point of how many time jumps there were in this episode. It did make a little bit of hard to kind of keep up with some things.
Yeah.
I mean, she could have. It's possible for the way they did the time. And I missed the beginning with the recap. So I just want to say I am very disappointed. I was expecting more. I loved the first 20 minutes. Okay, so instead of being all negative, I'll just give you a really quick why I liked what I did. The music. So you open it up with the Smiths.
It was another great episode full of great music. I agree.
Every time I hear that song, there was in the Now, I always think of the beginning of The Craft. Remember that movie from the 90s?
Yeah.
It was all the witches and everything.
That's what I thought too. And then they used that in Charmed too.
Exactly. I was like,
in the TV show.
And then into Flesh for Fantasy. Billy Idol, Billy Idol, Billy Idol, Billy Idol.
Lots of Billy Idol.
And then I actually looked up how they caught Richard Ramirez. So he was trying to get to Arizona to see his brother, and he couldn't catch the bus for some reason. And overnight, somebody ID'd him, and his picture was on all the papers. And that street looked familiar. That's in East LA where they found him, because they showed the street signs in the back on Hyperion, I think it was. That is exactly how they caught him in real life.
Yes. I love
they chased him down the street. I wanted to chase him down the street, but what made it even better is they're playing Paranoid in the background as he's running.
Yes.
And you're like,
you love that flip between REO and Black Sabbath.
REO, and he goes running down. I loved all of those things. So that part I loved.
Absolutely.
How it tied into, I didn't mind even the Margaret and the lifestyles of the rich and famous. I guess where I got totally lost was the Satan thing. It's just like a little kind of
almost
apocalypse-ish.
Well, but when the witches get their powers, they get their powers from somewhere. They don't say exactly where. You're always kind of left wondering, is it good or bad? Here, it's just, I felt like almost a cop out. Satan did it. Yes, Satan can do everything. So we can just go on our merry way and do exactly what we wanted to do. And I just kind of expected more. I wanted more than something talk about Game of Throning me. Sorry. I gotta say it.
Don't get people started on that one.
No, but it was like
Dawn and I almost got started on that.
Well, and with the Satan thing, like you're saying, you know what I found interesting too. I know we're kind of jumping around, but when Margaret did their lifestyles, the rich and famous thing, bought up all the houses and everything, and then we see, Trevor's alive, because everybody's been saying, where's Trevor? I liked how they played that in, how he was alive and everything. But if you remember at the one point before Leslie Jordan makes his appearance and comes in,
yes,
he said to her, well, you gave up on God and blah, blah, blah. So I know people were saying, Margaret is switching to the dark side and everything else and whatnot, or maybe she was a Satanist the whole time. So I thought that was interesting that they tied that in with, but they didn't say anything else about it, like how she gave up on God or what happened afterwards.
And at that point, I'm still on board.
Yeah.
Where I lose it is when they do the dead man walking thing with Brooke, and they spend so much time with her walking down the hallway.
In a co-ed prison, nonetheless.
In a co-ed prison.
And she was like the only female there.
Well, you can't. You can't do what they did. What they did doesn't exist. So I just kind of felt like, in the first 20 minutes, the music is going. Even the fact that he's like Billy Idol. Think about it. Charles Manson was into the Beatles. A lot of people who are like that, who are dark, associate themselves with some kind of music. Right. Then I thought, maybe Billy Idol will show up. That's fucking cool. But instead,
I was thinking that too, because they're making such a big deal about Billy Idol. Right. They played so much of his music. I'm
just
like wouldn't that be cool? Because he's done a lot of TV. He's not really big on anything else nowadays. I can see him making a cameo.
he is such an attention whore. He loves to be on television.
Yes, he does. Yes, he
He
does.
really does. So I was, and then it's like, then you go to the campers, and again, I go to the music. I'm even like, okay, there's Montana. She's laying out, sunning herself, listening to Motley Crue, which would be totally, rock chick her. I liked all of that. I even liked Ray a little better because of what he was doing.
I know. I made that comment to my husband. I said, it's funny how, the whole, like everybody hates Ray right after that episode.
Right.
Was that 3 or 4? But then all of a sudden now he's the moral compass of them all.
Cleaning up their shit, and they showed the campers that died before. We got a lot there.
Yeah.
And if this was just a regular episode, I probably still would be a little disappointed like I was last year during Halloween. But it was like, I was like into it. I'm alone, right, with my cats, and I'm screaming at the television. Fuck! This is the 100th episode. Blow my mind. Have them go to the Hotel Cortez. Have Lana want something a little bit out there other than what's very kind of basic and predictable.
Yeah.
Where I really thought that they missed an opportunity. And Chris, we're about to move into you because I want to know what you liked and disliked. And then Melinda, I want to know what you liked and disliked as well. So Chris, while you're gathering your thoughts real quick, I just want to say that I think they really missed a big opportunity with Margaret to flash her forward significantly into the future, possibly about 2020. And it would be badass to see her that she accumulated all of the American Horror Story seasonal properties. And then either she blows up in the apocalypse or Mr. Jingles like hunted her down or something like maybe she would have had like an awesome kill. But
I don't know. He looked like he was out for vengeance, so we don't know what he's going to do next.
I mean, just something better than giving Benjamin, which I like the story arc that they did with him. Yeah. However, the whole thing about Ramirez killing his wife, I just giving him a reason to go back to the camp.
Yeah.
Well, it's solid. There were other things that I can think of that would have wowed me. I'm not going to sit here and bitch about what they did because I have an idea of what they could have done to wow me. It was just the 100th episode. I expected a little bit more than normal. That's right. All. That's all I wanted. So, Chris, what about you, my darling? What did you like and dislike in the episode?
First off, when Margaret was at the hospital with, what's his name again?
Trevor.
Trevor, thank you. And everything. He wakes up and says, he acts like he doesn't know. And then he finally tells Margaret that he knows when she figures it out. And then it's like, it's about money, but then Margaret says something along the lines, well, marry me because the cop, the court can't force you to testify against your spouse. Right. And I was like, that's one smart, evil bitch. Mm-hmm. Because like she knows what she's doing. She knows how to get away with murder.
Yeah.
I mean, like, who the hell is she? Velva Davis? I mean, like,
all that was great. I like that. I like the over the top. I don't even mind that Trevor came back and their whole thing. It's just, and I realized this was all to get them back to the camp.
Yeah.
But the whole Brooke prison Ramirez thing, I like, was just kind of, I mean, they would never bring her to a prison with a man. They would never do the lethal injection like that. And like, she's dead and she brought her back. It's like,
which I called, by the way. I told you guys Rita was going to be the one to save Brooke and get her out of jail.
Yeah, but it's like, and then when she popped up, it felt like Apocalypse when they raised her back from the dead. I just didn't buy it. It just seemed a little, someone changed my mind. Who liked it? Who thought it was fantastic? I'm open.
What is there anything that you liked? Because I mean, okay, because for me, there's one thing that I really liked. One thing that I really liked, and that was when Margaret and Trevor were talking, and the whole setting around them with Margaret's mansion, totally 80s.
Yeah,
Oh,
very much so.
80s. I mean, they really nailed a lot of those 80s references, the music, the clothes, the scenes, just everything, the materials that they used, and just loved it.
She didn't have her glasses anymore.
Right.
Nope. So is there anything that you liked?
I would have to go back and rewatch the episode fully and actually pay attention to it before I could give you that full answer.
Gotcha.
So right now, I don't really know, but I do think that Cody Fern is a badass in this episode. So, he's my favorite character in this season. So,
did you like seeing the change in his character? Xavier went from guy with sort of, some sort of morality to a guy who had absolutely none.
And he mentioned that too. He talks about that. He's like, I was the good guy. I tried to save even Margaret and she killed me.
Exactly. And
so you like his change?
I actually do, but I don't, because I wish, he already played the evil dude in Apocalypse. Like, why make him evil again? I mean, I just wanted to see kind of like a different side of him, in a sense, because since I was first introduced, I wanted to see his acting experiences, what other stuff he could do, and all of that. And he's been doing good so far. It's just I just wish they didn't make him evil again. Just my personal thoughts.
No, I agree, because I mean, they had him at such a good point of a good person, and then they just totally flipped him once he died, and it's like, wow, I guess he didn't have a good willpower or strong conviction.
Right?
It kind of seems like lazy writing, like Chris, you have mentioned before.
Oh yes.
Kind of like Apocalypse, maybe. Where
I mean, I just feel like age.
Just very Apocalypse-like.
Just saying. I mean, 100th episode. Ryan Murphy should have had like a little thank you to something else. Just a little bit more. Don't they advertise it so you expect something different.
Exactly, and you don't get it.
And you expect a little more than, and you want to hear some concrete evidence. Why is this happening? Okay, it's Satan. Well, yeah, we know Satan's bad, but even with the witches, you always know their power comes from a certain place, and you like that it's kind of mysterious. You don't know if it's bad or if it's good. Right. And the witches have always had powers. This is just like, well, yes, he's a Satanist, but so is Manson.
Satan,
so
you get powers.
Every serial killer. So, bring us to, you don't even have to show anyone in the Hotel Cortez. Yes, you mentioned Briarwood. You mentioned Spawn Ranch. Maybe go there. They're obviously just trying to get everyone back to Redwood so Margaret can get her comeuppings, so that they can resolve everything before it's over. And I just feel like to do it in this episode when you're hyping it up so much just kind of leaves me flat.
Exactly.
I was so excited too, especially when we got that announcement that Leslie Jordan was going to be in the episode.
Yeah.
Explosive. And
I expected more from him too, just for being in the episode.
I want to say that too, because but I feel bad to say it because I'm just so grateful he was even in the episode.
Yeah,
I mean, true. I don't care if he came in and took a dump in the middle of the scene. I would have been grateful for that, because we have Leslie Jordan back in American Horror Story.
What did you think about his hair and his outfit, Mary? I mean, yes, it was very 80s, but it was not Leslie Jordan at all.
That wig was awful.
Yes, the wig was horrible. The clothes I could deal with, but the wig was horrible.
Yes, it was.
Yes, but would you have minded it if they ended it differently? You probably would have appreciated him more for what he did if the storyline came to a better end instead of what happened. I almost feel like this could have been
maybe if they would have made
hour.
it longer, you know what I mean? Even if they ended it the way they did, but if they gave us, like you guys are saying, a little bit more, like maybe make it an hour and 15 minutes, maybe make an hour and a half, just because it's the 100th episode.
You know, take that whole bit that they did and chop up Brooke walking around in chains over and over and over again. It's like, come on.
God, yes.
Exactly.
I felt like I was watching Dead Man Walking, not American Horror Story. And I just felt like if they would have condensed all of that, even if they were going with the Satan thing, then elaborate on it, make me believe it a little more. It just was kind of hokey. Like,
I can see the writers. I can see the writers in the writing room right now saying, yeah. And then we shock the viewers by putting Brooke in all these chains and walking her down a hall like Dead Man Walking.
Honestly, during that scene, the first thing that came to my mind was Rob Zombie's Halloween director's cut.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Totally.
I mean, can see that. And personally, I don't agree with the fact that she didn't say yes to Satan, because I feel like she should have.
I like that.
Yeah, that was good.
She said fuck God and fuck Satan in the same sentence.
But at the same time, I guess in a sense, because if I wanted revenge on Margaret for putting me in jail, killing me, I would sell my soul to Satan just to get revenge and make sure she doesn't kill me. And then I'd kill her. I mean, that's just my thoughts.
That's smart.
And I just feel like she should have done it like that.
Wasted opportunity.
Exactly, wasted opportunity.
I mean, what did everybody else think, Mary? I mean, did anybody?
Yeah, I'm curious too.
Anybody watching?
Yeah. Okay. So, do you want me to ask them things that they liked or disliked, or maybe if you guys
since we're all kind of like maybe there's maybe they can give us a little bit of insight, change our minds about something.
Absolutely. So you guys put that in there, and I'll post up some comments, and we'll talk about them. And if there's any questions that you have about the episode as well, let us know in the comments, because we will also answer that. And guys, don't forget, if you are enjoying the stream, you can thumb it up. And if you'd like to take it one step further and become a patron, you can just click on the Patreon link in the description, and it will take you right over there. So, gosh, Blake was watching it with me, and at the end, I was like, I had this constipated look on my face, and he was looking at me like, am I supposed to like it? I love how he was like, I'm not going to say anything until you give me your opinion first.
Yeah.
Right. It was like,
yeah, I was alone, and I was like, am I the only one? Why do I feel like I was just kind of sold a used car with a bad brakes or something? Because I saw people on Twitter, there were people who liked it.
That's great though, and that's the thing. I don't want to say, wow, how stupid. No, that's great. I'm glad people like it. I don't
know. I feel like people who liked it. People who liked it for the 100th episode, because like I said, I liked the episode overall. I did, but not as the 100th. Now, people who liked it overall as the 100th, I feel like those are people, and I don't want to speak for everybody. I could totally be wrong, but I feel like those are more people who aren't as invested as maybe somebody who's been watching since day one. Who looks for all the little connections, the Easter eggs, how everything fits together, how it's going to end. Just somebody who's watching it as they go and enjoying.
Absolutely. It's like the Game of Thrones fans who started watching during season 8, but they just binge watched 1 through 7 on Netflix or HBO. And then when season 8 came up, and they were like, this is great. You fucking kidding me?
Right.
I sweated every Sunday over what was going to happen for years. And, so I get exactly what you're saying with that, Melinda, because absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's every different type of fan out there. Absolutely.
definitely.
And again, I definitely liked the episode. I'm definitely not discounting that. I was just expecting, let's just say it's my 20th wedding anniversary. And Blake tells me, wow, I have so many great things planned for us this anniversary. Get ready to have your socks knocked off. And then he takes me to Burger King.
I was just going to say Taco Bell or Burger King.
In the parking lot of where Blockbuster used to once reside. And we just sit there and talk about a movie. And then he's like, oh, okay, that's it. Let's go home. I don't even get late date sex or anything. I can take Burger King in the parking lot. But if you don't get late date sex, then that's just disappointing. And that's what happened last night with AHS. I tolerated the Burger King. I tolerated the parking lot. But damn it, I will not tolerate no late date sex. I just can't do it. I just can't do it.
That's the icing on the cake right there.
Yeah.
Too much.
That's what you tolerate the other events for.
Right.
I didn't even really care for the episode. There were like I said, I was really on board, and I know somebody changed my mind because I'm open, and maybe it's supposed to be this hokey and cheesy because Richard Ramirez was a Satanist, and in the 80s, all those horror movies were kind of cheeky like this. Yeah. So maybe that's why they did it. I thought it felt short of the usual American Horror Story intelligence level, because it's usually a little more. It gives you a little more for you to think about. Like, did somebody really get abducted by aliens, or was it something else? Did it just almost any other episode?
For because we still haven't seen anything.
It's in LA, so to me, it has to connect to Murder House or to the Hotel Cortez at some point if he's tying all these things together. And it doesn't have to be a big, huge thing. It could even be the two of them when Jingles was with Ramirez, them driving past the Hotel Cortez sign. And then they got schooled, or some kind of a thing where even if you saw, it didn't really have to be a lot.
Yeah, a pack of matches that said Hotel Cortez on it in the car.
Yeah, just a little
light a cigarette, something like that.
And I understand she bought Briarwood, but I liked what they did with her too. It's just the whole thing with Ramirez and escaping from jail, and so it is trying to get them all back together again. But why he was even arrested when he's a ghost to begin with, I guess he was reborn.
Yeah. I guess
And the whole part with Emma lasted so long. There was I love that she spat on her. I love a lot of what she did.
Oh yeah, how she told Margaret to go fuck herself, basically.
Yeah, and she spat on the thing.
If you want, we know
there were these little nuggets that were okay, but it's just the whole thing just didn't I don't know. Maybe I'm in the minority, but I just have to. That's what I feel. I feel like you said, like somebody's like, pack your bag, we're going away for the weekend, and I go to Disneyland instead of Paris.
Disneyland. Wow, that'd be good. I'm saying, you go down to the local dump instead of
right.
Like, now, I'm trying to be honest here.
I'm holding back. Really, I just yelled out, "What a shit show!" when it was over.
Oh my God. And that makes me sad because damn it, this is a good show. And no offense. I like what they did with the campers and how they brought the counselors, their ghosts back. So now we can get rid of that theory about the counselors who die in the cabin. Something is with their ghost. I'm so sorry. Now we know that that's not true and that there's no.
We saw Chet, so we know Chet came out of the water at some point.
Absolutely. So we know a lot of things, some good things.
And it's not a fake movie set. We know it's not like we were saying, like a method acting class. Not that.
Right.
What were you saying?
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm waiting for? Because, what is one of the big things of 84 that we still have seen nothing of? Not even an
Exactly.
homage to yet, when they've done homages to all these other slashers. When they've done homages to all these other slashers, who is like the main one other than Jason that we have not seen?
Birdie.
Freddy. So I'm waiting for something to be at the very end and for it to be like it was all Brooke's nightmare or something. You know what I mean? They got to tie it in somehow. We've got to get Nightmare on Elm Street in there somehow.
Just like Dallas.
Oh God, yeah.
I don't.
So I'm so sorry, Chris. What were you saying?
I actually want to just comment.
80s, though, when that happened, why wouldn't they incorporate it too? You know.
I actually want to comment on like the whole show in general. When it comes to the writing and everything, okay, the first 4 seasons, no, the first 6 seasons were actually good. But I think it started getting lazy in season 6. And from there on, I just think that the writers just didn't give a fuck about it anymore. And it's just like, oh, we have a year to get this out. We have to write this really quick instead of giving the fans what we want. They don't do that anymore. They don't put their heart and soul into it.
I semi agree with you on that, because it was 6, wasn't it, with Roanoke?
Yeah.
When they started cutting the seasons down to 10. That was when they cut it.
Exactly.
So that they could pump out, wasn't it, 2 a year? Because then they were doing the other shows and stuff too.
Exactly.
So I mean, this is maybe too much too fast.
Exactly. And like I feel like I feel like American Horror Story is now just a cash grab. And I know that sounds terrible because I love the show. Exactly. And like I know a lot of people are gonna come for me, and please don't understate my opinion. If you do, I don't care. You can kiss my ass, okay? Like
There you go, babe.
I'm just like,
but there was good stuff in all of that. So I don't know if it's just we're expecting so much because we had so much previously. The way that they're showing it is kind of the way that anybody would say, okay, now what would happen if I didn't really put a lot into this? Oh yeah, he's a Satanist. They're all going to go back to the camp. They're all going to get their comeuppance, and they're going to tie it in a nice little bow. Game of Thrones. And let us be
fan service.
Exactly. That's kind of how I felt, because it's setting up for what? There's 3 more episodes.
Right? And I'm just like, what?
Unless, I mean, and you know what? So we can keep the faith and maybe something will get turned around at the end. But just the fact the 100th episode, it was just
terrible. Well, but what my thing is, you have 3 episodes left. How in the hell are you going to describe the story that you have put out in 3 episodes? Not make it cheesy, not make it awful, and everything. It's AHS.
I don't want it to be Apocalypse, where it feels very rushed for like the last episode or 2.
Exactly.
So cram everything in real quick. Like, I really hope that doesn't happen this season.
I hope it don't either.
I don't think this season is going to be 9 episodes long, because AHS themselves have not confirmed this. And in my opinion, until AHS actually confirms this, then it's still going to be at least 10 episodes. It seems to me that everybody is forcing the 9 episodes on us to say it's true, that it's like, there's no source, and it seems more like it's being forced onto us. So I don't. I mean,
I'll believe it when I see it.
It's going to suck. But in my opinion, the only way that they can redeem Camp Redwood is if the season finale, they have that big music thing, and it's just a bloody killing free for all. That's
exactly.
Everybody comes back to the camp, and they all just kill each other over and over and over and over and over.
Billy Idol comes back to perform, and he's really the devil himself.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
I love that.
I think they should kill Margaret.
I believe Margaret
would be.
Well, Margaret's gonna just keep getting killed over and over and over again, because she's got unfinished business. They're gonna keep. That's her that's her hell. That's not even her purgatory because they all want to kill her.
Well, does
Now,
anybody
that would be cool though, because then
Does
everybody
anyone
would get a
think
chance to kill her.
Does
But-
anyone think that Margaret has sold her soul to Satan, and maybe that's why she's got the money for the rich and
For the
famous?
rich and the famous
I
and
mean,
everything. That's what I was saying before, because Trevor mentions that she gave up on God a long time ago, but they leave it at that. There's nothing else. So she very well may have finally given in and sold her soul to Satan. She might tell people she still believes in God.
Yeah.
But
Personally, I think she did that when she first started her killing spree way back in the 70s. Like because it just seems like the way they describe the Satan thing, and when you sell your soul, it's like, oh, you have to be this killer, you have to murder all these people for Satan and send these people to hell.
And I thought about that too. But the thing is Jingles sold his soul to be reborn.
Mhm.
Ramirez offered it to him.
Yeah.
Now, if you watch it, like you said, the first 20 minutes that Di really likes with Jingles and Ramirez, if you watch that, even Jingles tells him, I've kept count. I know how many you've killed. He doesn't say that I've killed. And then when they show him with the flashbacks or flash forwards or current time, whatever it is, when they show, Ramirez killing people, Jingles is by his side, but he doesn't look happy about it. And he's just kind of standing on the sidelines watching. He's not killing anybody.
Exactly.
So he still was saved by Satan, but didn't have to give that blood. You know what I mean?
Sorry, emergency alert. We're just having bad storms right now. So. Well, okay, so let's go with rankings. Okay, if we're gonna rank this episode, 1 being the worst, 10 being the highest. You guys let me know in the comments what you would rank the episode, and I'll of course put some of them on here. Lady Di, what do you rank the episode?
I'm going to be a little nicer and give it a 6.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a negative
That's
10. Because I'm hoping that it'll redeem itself and he'll twist it around and blow our minds. I mean, he could.
It's possible.
Very true.
Though I kind of feel like we're not going to get any after date sex.
We're going to be left disappointed.
Disappointed, horny, and have to masturbate. That's pretty much.
Oh my God! Yes.
If you want something done, you got to do it yourself.
Damn straight. What would you rank the episode, Chris?
Oh God. A 5. And that's pretty damn low. A 5.
Well, you're not the only one. Dakota Phillips rates it a 5 as well. What do you rate it, Melinda?
Well, I would have to give it 2 ratings because, like I said, as an episode, just with the season, I liked the episode. I liked that they gave us some more answers. I liked they gave us more backstory. Excuse me. I really liked the Jingles storyline. I liked him having a kid, especially with us talking about, offspring and everything impossible, the whole Scream Queens connection and everything. So I liked that. And I liked that as much as people don't like the predictability, I liked that because it's very 80s. So I would have to say, just as an episode with the season, if we were just counting it as episode 6, nothing more, I would probably give it an 8, 8.5 even maybe. But as a 100th episode, I was so disappointed. I mean, it was still a good story, but it wasn't 100th episode worthy. So I don't know. As a 100th episode, I would probably give it, honestly, like a 5, maybe.
Okay. And Andres, I say this. I say an 8.5. I would say an 8.4 just for the year of 84. Maybe I will give it an 8.4. Again, it was a good episode, but not as 100th.
Yeah, not as 100th.
That's all.
I just thought it was a fair episode. Even forget about the 100.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like I was like, no, don't be so obvious. American Horror Story was never obvious before. That's probably the perfect word, where anybody could come in out of the door, just like Game of Thrones, if you hooked up in the very last season, and say, yeah, that's what's going to happen. And that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. So I just want to say to Phil, I did notice your note about Lily Rabb. Again, it's not that I've missed news. It's just that a lot of people out there love to give me fake news, so to speak, and try to have me report things that they think is true. And without any kind of a link to confirm it, it's not something I report on. So Lily Rabb being back is only a rumor. She hasn't confirmed it. The show hasn't confirmed it. And if it's something from like an indie news source, it's not, believable.
Well,
Dylan's
we might
coming
find
back.
out last minute because the whole Leslie Jordan thing we found out like the day of. It was
Is-
Of
just
course,
put on
but
Twitter
until
the
she
day
does-
of.
Of course, but until she does, though,
Right.
it might be, it's just a rumor, so I'm not going to
Yep.
report it as a fact.
No,
Exactly.
Dylan is in the next episode.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, we do know that. Dylan McDermott's in the next
So
episode.
I'm holding out hope that it is going to tie into, something with Murder House, maybe, or
Yeah.
maybe Jingle's baby is somebody. I don't know. That seemed a little bit. I don't know how that would fit into a timeline. Just doesn't really seem feasible to me. But anything's feasible. AHS can forward time, backwards time,
Right.
whatever they want to do.
Yeah. They can run you over with an SUV if they
With an
want.
SUV because Cadillac is sponsoring them.
Lord have mercy.
I wore my shirt today because I had to, because I haven't worn it all season. Let's see, hold on. And I was just like, okay, let's just let a witch show up, Let's just have a witch or something. Let Myrtle pop in and give them some kind of a zinger and tell him
I
how
keep
stupid
watching
it
the
is.
names like we were talking about, and I'm like, please let me see Francis Conroy. Let it pop in somewhere.
Or the angel of death who says, guess what? Satan's really going to fuck you up, Richard Ramirez, you're dead. Or, something, anything.
Absolutely.
I just feel like nobody on the Ryan Murphy camp was really like,
this is worth it.
Maybe.
And I'm
maybe
trying
it's
to find the comment about somebody saying that that if the episode were a date, they would have hidden the bathroom after like.
Yes,
30
I saw that. Her name was started with a G. I want to say like Gian. I'm sorry, I don't want to ruin your name, but I saw it was a really beautiful name, and she's like, if that was me on a date, I'd hide in the bathroom for 20 minutes. Oh my God, so good.
So probably we are caught up on the 100th episode, Pierce, because it was the 100th episode.
Well, they hyped it up too. That's the thing. They hyped it up for us.
Right. They hyped it. If they hadn't have said anything about it, then it probably would have gone unnoticed with most people.
Yep.
Well, not with the hardcore fans, but with most people it would have.
Most people.
It's just like with Roanoke when they said, ooh, you're going to get a big shocking twist in episode 6. Ooh. And then the shock is like, really? That's not a shock. And then Ryan's like, ooh, what a shock. And then it's like, we weren't shocked. And then the people who watched Beyond the Horror were like, y'all are too nitpicky. I was shocked as fuck. And it's like, okay, that's great. I'm glad you were, but everybody has a right to an opinion. And I have to say that if they want us to stop nitpicking, then they need to stop hyping this up. They need to, like they did for the season 6, episode 6 twist, the 100th episode, like a Coven 2.0. They just need to stop hyping, things like that. I mean, and it's a good season. Don't get me wrong. This is absolutely a good, strong season. I just honestly would have done something different with Margaret. I wouldn't have left her alive, number one. I would have killed Margaret in this episode. She needed to die in episode 6. It's the 6th episode, of the 9th season that's, turned around.
Right.
And then you add some other 6 to it. It would have been 666. It would have been the perfect time to kill her, damn it.
2019. There you go.
Right.
2019. We're going to go crazy like they do, and we're just going to throw shit out everywhere here. But I would have loved them to kill Margaret, after blow her up in the apocalypse. That would have been great. And I understand that Mallory went back and changed time, but I'm talking about maybe a different apocalypse. Let's just
Parallel
throw
universe.
out here and see if it sticks. That's what AHS loves to do.
I mean, there's plenty of things they could do that were off the cuff, instead of what they did do, which was just ordinary. I just felt like it was ordinary.
Yeah. Yeah, Gianna Polk, that's you, Gianna. You're badass.
Gianna, I knew it was a J.
Giovanna, sorry.
Giovanna,
you are badass. Thank you. That was a badass comment. So you kind of like won the internet for us tonight.
Absolutely. That was the perfect way to say it.
Yeah. But so anyway, I am really looking forward to episode 7. We're gonna have Dylan McDermott. Dylan McDermott. Did I even say that? I get confused with Dylan McDermott and Dermot Mulroney all the time. I'm like, I just say
that's
Dermot
the
Mulroney.
running joke. That's the running like meme for those two that people always do that.
We can just call him Ben Harmon.
Yeah. A tearjerker.
It doesn't seem like he is returning as Ben. I think he's going to be like Cody Fern's like pimp producer or something like that he did for the Iceman Cometh.
But do you think they would do that because they've already done that with that Blake guy?
I don't remember where they showed him in the context of the previews for next week, but that's just the vibe.
In the back seat. He was in the back seat with Rita and Brooke driving in the front.
So he has a reason to go to someone that was killed at Camp Redwood that he wants.
He's looking for Xavier and Blake. That's
or maybe he's her boyfriend. Maybe he's Rita's boyfriend.
That would be.
We still don't know much about Margaret's back family story. What if he's related to Margaret, or what if it's like Margaret's husband's kid?
I don't know.
We still don't know anything about Margaret's dead husband. Other than
this
he's dead,
point,
he had money.
We just have to cross our fingers and pray to the American Horror Story gods. Just give us a little something. Make it feel like it's not just going over that cliff.
Stop throwing shit to the wind and then ducking when it comes back at you.
Right. When it boomerangs back.
Yeah. Oh my God. I really love this is still, even though what happened with this episode, this is still one of my top seasons. And I haven't even seen the final season yet, the rest of it. So I really love this season. It's kind of like what happened again with Roanoke. I just wish they wouldn't have hyped it. If they just would have left it alone.
Yeah.
And left it with us with having no expectations, no worries about the 100th. I mean, last week they did the preview where they flashed every single season. Like, next week on American Horror Special 100th Anniversary Edition. And we're thinking we're like going to get a new William Peter Blatty's The Exorcist, like a 40th edition,
right.
Inserts and the extra writing in there. So it's like The Exorcist 2.0 on crack. But he didn't even do that. And he needs to stop focusing on other endeavors and go back to focusing on America.
They need to stop trying to bring in more viewers. They have the viewership already.
Yes.
They have the loyal viewers, not to mention people who have, word of mouth, positive word of mouth. You tell 10 people, those 10 people, just like customer service, they tell, 10 people and so forth. But it's the same with bad word of mouth, whereas people usually tell more that way. So it's like they already have the viewership. They don't need to keep hyping it so that they get more viewers. We're there already. So stop hyping it and then disappointing us.
Yeah.
Because that's how they're losing viewers from what I'm hearing, just people who are disappointed.
And see, that's what I really love about The Walking Dead, because they don't give a fuck. They're just still keeping with the formula. And it's still keeping the viewers who are hardcore, who love the show, still watching it, still interested, still liking it. And if that's what American Horror Story would do, I honestly think that they would be in a much better situation. But again, I do like the camp. I do like what's happening. I just expected better for the episode, and I just didn't get it. And I just felt so sad and disappointed. So
yeah,
you wore your special lipstick for it.
Yeah.
I mean, so next week is Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
On the 30th, And then, so are we doing behind the horror on Halloween night?
Probably not. It's just because I'm going to be taking my kids trick-or-treating.
Trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
That is always a hard night for me.
Yeah.
And plus I start feeling bad now at nights. So after a certain time, I just sadly can't be up. I don't know if it's the witch.
Hey, I can relate with you. I'm exhausted and just want to sleep.
I went and got my all my shots today, so I'm hoping that I will still start feeling better much sooner. So we'll probably do it on that Thursday. But then, guys, don't.
Halloween.
No, Thursday is Halloween, Mary.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh,
yeah.
Mark Lard.
Yeah, Wednesday is the 30th.
That's right. That's Devil's Night.
Well, you have a whole week to figure it out and let us know.
Yeah.
That's
Just
right.
curious.
We'll come together and we'll figure something out because Halloween is a hard day.
Yeah.
I have my husband to help with me, but we kind of just like to enjoy it as a family and not feel rushed.
Well,
Yeah.
Don't plan anything on the 1st because I have a Halloween gig that I'm doing. One of my friends invited me to do it and to participate in it, so I get to scare a bunch of kids and watch them shit their pants. Yes, so I'm happy about that.
Well, absolutely. Well, I'll be having Halloween posts and stuff like that, and we will all get together and we'll just decide on a date and a time where we'll make sure that we can come together and do that. And I do want to let you guys know that I am going to try to negotiate to get EJ in the live stream, either episode 7 or 8, because I figured if we're only going to 9 episodes, that's going to be a big season finale. So it'd be best to get him in before that, and then that way we can do the season finale together and just blow up then. So yeah.
Sounds good.
With our opinions. So all right. Well, then no problem, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank Melinda so much for being on the show. Thank you so much, Melinda.
No problem.
Lady Di, thank you so much for being here as well.
Thank you.
Chris, as always, you're murdering the motel and I love it. Thank you so much for your honesty.
Actually, I'm murdering people in the motel. Hence the title, Murder Motel.
Oh my God. So, okay. Oh, I swear to God, guys, it's coming. So I have 4 patrons that I'm testing on, remember, for the Sims patrons. So that's what you're doing, Chris. You're killing people. So I'm having you murder people in your house. It's so fun. So I can't wait to show you.
How? Wait. So I'm the Evan Peters of the house then.
Yes!
You're the Kate.
Okay. Well, girl,
it.
you need to show me this because, like, I haven't even seen any of your Sims videos.
I know.
I didn't even know they existed.
Because I've got so many darn videos to edit right now that if I had an editing team, I would be able to pump videos out so much easier and better if I had an editing team. But I, can't afford it. So
Hello.
Oh, that's right. Maybe you and I will talk, Murder Motel.
Because I'm an editor.
Thank you all so much for being here. We appreciate all of you watching American Horror Story, coming here, watching the show, giving it a thumbs up, leaving your comments.
Thumbs up, everybody.
Yes, thumbs up. Be in the Cool Kid Club. We all love you so much, and thank you all so much for being here. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.